Have you ever stood in front of your medicine cabinet, looking at that little bottle of Tylenol, or maybe Advil, maybe even aspirin? And for a moment, you pause. You wonder, is this still safe for me? Not because it's expired. Not because you don't trust it. But because you've changed. Your body, it's not what it used to be. What once gave you quick relief, no questions asked, now makes you second guess. Maybe you've noticed it after a few pills. A strange ache in your stomach, a little lightheadedness, or a vague discomfort you can't quite place. Maybe someone close to you had a bad reaction. Or maybe, like so many others, you've never questioned it at all. You've just been taking what you've always taken, because it's what worked. But here's something most people don't talk about: the rules change as we get older. That same painkiller you trusted in your 40s might not play so nice in your 70s. Because your liver, your kidneys, even your heart, they don't process these drugs the same way anymore. And the scariest part? The damage isn't always loud. It creeps in slowly. One pill here. A little over-the-counter relief there. Until one day you find yourself in a doctor's office, hearing words you never expected to hear, all because of something so ordinary. So familiar. But this isn't about fear. It's about power. It's about making choices with your eyes wide open. Because you deserve to feel better. Without trading comfort today for complications tomorrow. You deserve to know what's actually safe, and what's just popular. And you shouldn't have to rely on guesswork when it comes to your health. So today, we're going to talk. We're going to break down the real differences between Tylenol, Advil, and aspirin, what they actually do in your body, why some are riskier than others for seniors, and which one you should think twice about before taking again. By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident, more informed, and better equipped to make the right choice for your body. And who knows, what you learn today might just save you from a serious health scare tomorrow. So let me ask you, have you ever had a strange reaction to a painkiller? A moment where you thought, that didn't feel quite right? If so, I want you to share your story in the comments. Because your experience could be the very thing that helps someone else. And if you care about staying informed, staying safe, and staying independent in your later years, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here on Elderly Wisdom Guide, we're all about honest, helpful, and empowering advice, just like this. Alright, ready to find out which painkiller really is the safest for older adults? Let's dive in. Let's start with the one that seems the safest, the one most doctors recommend first. Tylenol. Also known as acetaminophen. It's everywhere. In your medicine cabinet. In those little packets at the pharmacy. In cold and flu meds, nighttime aids, even combo painkillers. It feels safe. Familiar. Easy. But let me tell you about Harold, 78 years old. A retired postman. Proud grandfather of 5. He's been managing arthritis in his knees for over a decade. Nothing too dramatic, just that deep, stubborn ache that flares up on chilly mornings. So every day, like clockwork, Harold takes 2 extra-strength Tylenol with his morning coffee. No questions asked. It's what his doctor recommended years ago. But lately, Harold's been feeling off. Fatigued. A little dizzy in the afternoons. No appetite. His wife, Susan, says he just doesn't have the same spark. At first, he brushes it off. I'm just getting older, he says. But one routine checkup later, and his doctor notices something unexpected. His liver enzymes are elevated, a sign of stress. Not from alcohol. Not from fatty food. But from daily, unintended overuse of Tylenol. You see, here's the hidden truth about acetaminophen: yes, it's gentler on the stomach than Advil or aspirin. It doesn't irritate your gut or raise your blood pressure the way other painkillers might. And that makes it a go-to for many older adults. But there's a catch. As we age, our liver slows down. It doesn't clear medications as quickly. So when you take Tylenol, especially in high doses or over long periods, it can silently build up in your system. And by the time symptoms appear, damage may already be underway. Now, here's where the danger often hides. You might think, it's just Tylenol. Over the counter. Harmless. But that's exactly the mindset that puts so many seniors at risk. Let's say you take 500 milligrams a few times a day. Add a cold medicine that also has acetaminophen. Then maybe a nighttime sleep aid. And before you know it, you've crossed 3,000 milligrams, sometimes even 4,000, the absolute daily limit. And you didn't even realize it. That's why the key with Tylenol is caution, not fear. Here's what you should do: always use the lowest effective dose. Don't take more, just in case. Never exceed 3,000 milligrams per day, and remember, that includes all sources of acetaminophen. Read your labels. Cold, flu, and PM meds often contain hidden doses. And if you're already taking medications that affect the liver, or if you drink alcohol, talk to your doctor before adding Tylenol to the mix. Because while it may seem like a friend, Tylenol can turn into a foe if you're not careful. And if you're thinking, okay, but what if Tylenol doesn't touch my pain? That's where many folks turn to something stronger. Something with more muscle. That's when Advil enters the picture. So, Tylenol didn't quite do the job. The pain is still there. It's deeper now. More swollen. More stubborn. That's when many older adults, maybe even you, reach for something stronger. Advil. Also known by its generic name, ibuprofen. It's the heavy hitter in the over-the-counter world. Why? Because unlike Tylenol, Advil doesn't just block pain signals, it reduces inflammation. That swelling in your joints? That sore lower back? That tennis elbow that just won't quit? Advil can feel like magic. But here's where that magic comes at a cost. Let me introduce you to Eleanor, 82 years old. A proud gardener, always out in the yard. She's dealt with back pain ever since she slipped on some ice 5 winters ago. For years, she managed it with stretching, heat pads, and a few gentle exercises. But this past spring, the pain flared up, and she needed more relief. So, she turned to Advil. 1 pill in the morning. 1 at night. Within a few days, the pain eased. She was thrilled. But a few weeks later, Eleanor began feeling strange. She'd get dizzy when she stood up. Her stomach cramped unpredictably. She lost her appetite. And one morning, she noticed something she couldn't ignore: dark, tarry stool. A hospital visit later, she had her answer: gastrointestinal bleeding. Tiny tears in her stomach lining had been quietly growing worse with each dose of Advil. Here's the science: Advil is part of a group called NSAIDs, nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They're great for swelling, but they also reduce the protective mucus in your stomach. This leaves your gut vulnerable, like walking barefoot over sharp gravel. And it's not just the stomach. Advil can raise blood pressure, stress the kidneys, and even increase the risk of heart problems, especially if you already have conditions like hypertension, heart failure, or kidney disease. And yet, many people believe, if it reduces swelling, it must be better than Tylenol. Not always. For older adults, Advil carries more risk, especially when taken daily, or without food, or combined with other medications. So, what can you do? Avoid long-term use unless your doctor specifically tells you it's safe. Always take it with food, never on an empty stomach. If you need ongoing pain relief, talk to your doctor about alternatives. One good option: topical NSAIDs, like Voltaren gel. They provide targeted relief without flooding your whole system. Pain is real. And you deserve relief. But you also deserve a solution that won't turn around and harm you later. Now, there's one more familiar name we haven't talked about. It's been around for generations. It's trusted by millions. It even made headlines for helping the heart. Aspirin. You've probably got some sitting in your cabinet right now. Little white pills. Cheap. Easy to find. And for decades, folks have been told, especially after age 50, just take a baby aspirin a day. It's good for your heart. But let me tell you about Frank, age 76. Retired mechanic. Keeps busy working on old lawnmowers in his garage. His brother, who had a heart attack in his 60s, told him years ago, start taking aspirin now. It could save your life. So, Frank did. Every morning, with breakfast, like clockwork. No doctor's advice. No second thought. Just routine. Then one fall morning, Frank was reaching for a box on the top shelf of the garage. He lost his balance, fell backward, hit his arm, and scraped his elbow pretty bad. But something strange happened. He couldn't stop bleeding. The scrape wasn't huge, but the blood just kept coming. His wife wrapped it. Twice. Still soaked through. They ended up in urgent care, where the nurse asked him what medications he was on. When Frank said he took a baby aspirin daily, the nurse nodded slowly. That explains it, she said. And that was the moment Frank realized, this so-called life-saving habit had become a hidden danger. Here's what you need to know. Aspirin thins the blood. That's why it's often used to prevent blood clots, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. In some cases, for people with a history of heart disease or stroke, it's still a valuable tool. But the science has changed. Doctors now understand that for many older adults without a prior heart condition, the risks outweigh the benefits. Because aspirin doesn't just prevent clots. It also increases the risk of internal bleeding, in the stomach, in the intestines, and most concerning, in the brain. And here's the hard truth, as we age, we become more vulnerable to even minor injuries. A simple fall can become serious when you're on a blood thinner like aspirin. That bruise could turn into a dangerous hematoma. That nosebleed might take hours to stop. Yet, there's still a powerful myth out there, everyone my age should be on aspirin. Nope. That's outdated. The most recent guidelines, especially in the US and Europe, do not recommend daily aspirin for routine prevention in older adults unless you have a diagnosed heart condition. So, what does that mean for you? Here's the clear advice, do not start daily aspirin on your own. Only take it if your doctor recommends it for a specific medical reason. If you're already on aspirin, ask your doctor if it's still necessary, especially if it was prescribed years ago, and your health has changed. Be especially cautious if you're on other blood thinners, or if you're at risk of falls or head injuries. Sometimes, continuing something, just in case, can silently put you in harm's way. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Tylenol can hurt my liver. Advil can damage my stomach. Aspirin can cause bleeding. So what's left? What can I actually take safely? And that, my friend, is exactly what we're talking about next, alternatives. Safer options. Smarter strategies that don't always involve a pill. Let me tell you about Margaret, 81 years old, retired schoolteacher. Always graceful, always sharp. But arthritis in her knees? That was stealing her joy, slowly. She had been taking Advil like clockwork, morning and night. At first, it helped. But after a few months, the side effects crept in, heartburn, dizziness, and that heavy, tired feeling in her gut. Her daughter stepped in one afternoon and said, "Mom, let's try something different. Just for a few weeks. No pills. Let's see what your body tells us. So, Margaret swapped her morning Advil for a 15-minute warm compress to the knees, followed by gentle leg stretches from a local physical therapist. Twice a week, she joined a Tai Chi group at the community center. Low impact, slow, meditative. No pills, just movement and warmth. Within 2 months, she felt better than she had in a year. Not cured, but comfortable. And most importantly, in control. Now here's the truth. Many pain issues, especially those that come with aging, don't need to be numbed with pills. They need to be understood, supported, and worked with. That's the beauty of safer alternatives. Let's break down a few that science supports. Physical therapy. Trained therapists don't just massage muscles, they strengthen, retrain, and restore movement. It's like teaching your body how to support itself again, one joint at a time. Heat and cold therapy. A warm compress improves circulation and eases stiffness. A cold pack reduces inflammation and calms flare-ups. No chemicals, just smart timing. Low-impact exercise. Simple movements, Tai Chi, water aerobics, or even daily walks, can reduce pain and boost natural endorphins. These endorphins are your body's built-in painkillers. And the best part? No prescription needed. Topical treatments. Gels like Voltaren, capsaicin cream, or menthol-based rubs go directly to the source without taxing your liver or kidneys. You get the relief without the risk. Now, let's talk about a big misunderstanding I hear all the time. If it's not a pill, it's probably not strong enough. But here's the thing, pills often treat the symptom, not the root. They mute the message your body is trying to send. But lifestyle changes? They respond to that message. They work with your body. Let's say your pain is worse after sitting too long, maybe the real solution is building in standing breaks, not just taking another Tylenol. Or maybe your back hurts more on cold days, that could mean it's time for a heating pad before bed, not another round of Advil. So, here's some practical advice. Start by tracking your pain. Keep a little notebook, or use your phone. Note what you did, what you ate, what the weather was like. You'll start to see patterns. Then, bring that info to your next doctor's appointment. Ask about integrative pain care. That's when traditional medicine works together with movement, therapy, and lifestyle. And most of all, listen to your body. Pain isn't just something to shut down. It's information. And when you understand it, you can make better decisions. Now, I know that's a lot to take in. Tylenol, Advil, aspirin, alternatives. Each has its place. Each has its risks. But this isn't just about medicine. It's about something deeper, how all these choices affect your quality of life. Your independence. Your peace of mind. And that's exactly what we're about to talk about next. Let's shift gears, and look at the emotional weight behind all of this, and how you can rise above it. You know, at the heart of all this, it's not just about picking the right pill. It's about something much more personal. It's about feeling safe in your own body again. It's about waking up without that quiet anxiety in the back of your mind. Will this pain get worse today? Will this medicine finally stop working? What if I have a bad reaction? Pain takes more than a physical toll. It steals your freedom, your sleep, your mood. And when you're unsure about what to take, when the very thing that's supposed to help might also cause harm, that uncertainty, that's heavy. But let's pause here. Because this is where everything changes. You are not helpless. You are not just a passenger in this journey. You're informed now. And that's power. Power to ask better questions. Power to choose more wisely. Power to protect your health, your independence, and your peace of mind. You see, knowledge isn't just information, it's freedom. When you know the real risks behind Tylenol, Advil, and aspirin, when you understand how your body changes with age, you're no longer guessing. You're guiding. And here's something simple, yet powerful, you can do today. Tonight, before you reach for that pill, just pause. Look at the label. Ask yourself, do I still need this today? Is this the best option for me now? Or is there something gentler, safer? That small moment of reflection? That's how smarter decisions begin. Because sometimes the most life-changing choices don't look dramatic. They look like a second of clarity. A glance at a bottle. A decision to speak to your doctor next week about a better plan. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just take the next step, one informed choice at a time. And please, remember this, you are not alone in this. There are thousands of others, right now, facing the same questions. Looking for answers. Trying to manage pain not just with pills, but with wisdom. And you? You're already doing that. You've made it this far into this video, which means you care. You're learning. You're showing up for your health. So, keep going. Keep asking questions. Keep looking out for yourself and your future. You've got this. And we're right here with you, every step of the way. Let's take a moment to pull it all together, because you've just absorbed a lot of important information, and you deserve clarity. Here's a quick recap. Tylenol, it's often easier on your stomach, but your liver carries the burden. Too much over time can cause harm, especially when you're taking other medications that also sneak in acetaminophen. Advil. Great for inflammation, but it can quietly affect your kidneys, raise your blood pressure, and irritate your stomach lining. It's more than just a little pill, it's a strong one, and it demands caution. Aspirin, the classic many grew up trusting. But now? The science has shifted. It's no longer the go-to for daily prevention unless you've had a heart issue. Because while it may help prevent clots, it also raises your risk of bleeding, internally and in the brain, especially after falls. And finally, we explored the non-pill options. Gentle movement. Physical therapy. Heat packs. Topical creams. Pain care doesn't always have to come from a bottle. And now, I want to hear from you. Which of these medications do you usually turn to? Has it helped, or have you had a tough experience with it? Drop a comment below. Because your story, it might just help someone else avoid a painful mistake. Or find the solution they've been searching for. And if today's video gave you a sense of clarity, if it made you feel just a bit more confident in managing your health, then I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. This channel, Elderly Wisdom Guide, is here for you every single day, with simple, honest, senior-friendly tips to help you stay safe, strong, and in control. You don't have to navigate this season of life alone. And here, you never will. So, thank you for taking this time for yourself today. For choosing knowledge. For choosing you. Stay wise. Stay well. And I'll see you in the next one.